to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Okay, my name is Michael D. Keeney. This is a song called Smash. There ain't much going on around this town, but I got this girl and man, she likes to get down. She's like Christmas morning, every damn night. The 4th of July, flying high as a kite. We don't like to overthink anything, so all we do is smash. All we smash. All we do is smash. All we smash. Smash. There ain't much going on around this town, so me and my boys head out and we put a few down. And then we hit all the bars, start all the fights, jump on the stage, kick at them lights. We don't like to overthink anything, so all we do is smash. All we smash. Yeah, all we do is smash. All we smash. And we gonna smash till the morning, smash every night, smash in the bars, kick at them lights. We smash, all we smash, smash. There ain't much going on around this town, no. But I got this girl and man, she likes to get down. She's like Christmas morning, every damn night. 4th of July, flying high as a kite. We don't like to overthink anything, so all we do is, all we do is smash. All we do is smash. And we gonna smash in the morning, smash every night, smash in the bars, kick at them lights, smash. Hi, my name is Michael D. Keeney, and this is a new song of mine called Everything Tonight. Tell me everything and everything will be alright. Tell me everything you're doing this Saturday night. Tell me all your hopes and dreams. Tell me, baby girl, it makes you scream. Tell me everything and everything will be alright. Tell me everything, everything that makes you smile. Tell me everything you ain't done in a while. Tell me all your hopes and dreams. Tell me, baby girl, it makes you scream. Tell me everything and everything will be alright. If I can be your everything tonight, I can sure make everything just right. Take it hard, take it in, drive you crazy, make you feel like a brand new lady. If I can be your everything tonight, I can make everything just right. I can make everything just right. Yeah. Tell me everything, everything you think you know. Tell me everything you hate, everything you love. Tell me all your hopes and dreams. Tell me, baby girl, who makes you scream. Tell me everything and everything will be alright. If I can be your everything tonight, and I can sure make everything just right. Take it hard, take it in, drive you crazy, make you feel like a brand new lady. If I can be your everything tonight, I can make everything just right. Yeah, I can make everything just right. Tell me everything, everything that made you cry. Tell me everything that hurt you when you said goodbye. Tell me, baby, is a half a chance? Maybe you and me, we can have this dance. Tell me everything and everything will be alright. If I can be your everything tonight, and I can sure make everything just right. I'll take it hard, take it in, drive you crazy, make you feel like a brand new lady. If I can be your everything tonight, I can make everything just right. I can make everything just right. Yeah. Now say na 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 na
Thank you for coming to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I feel very honored. I mean, we've been following each other for a while, and you do a lot of things. So you sing, you have one of the top true crime podcasts. And
it's in the top 20. It's like, it's nothing like major yet, but...
That's pretty big to be in the top 20. There's a lot of crime
There's about probably 30,000 of them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And then
cool.
What's the magazines that you owned?
Okay, so the magazines I had Valley X. Fresno Extreme was the first one, and then Valley X, the other one was just called The Extreme, I think.
And you don't have those anymore?
No Town.
No Town.
I had Patrick Contreras on the cover of the first one, and then that one lasted about a year. The other ones lasted about 3 years apiece.
Well, and then you moved, so...
Yeah.
You weren't in Fresno anymore, so you couldn't really talk about Fresno.
Well, plus that was right around the big digital...
Oh, yeah, but it's a dying breed. No, I know it's a dying breed, yeah.
Came over and just took away all the magazines and stuff pretty much. Like, nobody wanted to advertise in magazines.
Right, I remember, because I've been working in magazines my whole life, you know, I used to write for them, so I see that. So, is music one of your first loves? I don't even know, what's your biggest thing out over everything that you do?
Yeah.
Music?
Yeah, besides like male genitalia, I'd probably choose music over everything I have.
Nice. That is well put.
Yeah. No. Music is my life. It's my lifeblood. It's been my life since I was 20 years old.
We're good at it. You've been touring. Yeah. I mean, when you actually get paid to play, it means you're good.
Never had a job. So.
That is super awesome. What are you getting your doctorate in now, by the way?
Criminology.
Oh man,
so now BS and a master's, and so it's just the next step.
So how long have you had the True Crime podcast?
For almost. In in June this year, June 1st, which was just 2 days ago, it's 3 years old now.
And it's already that popular? How'd you get that going?
There's a lot of them that are bad. It's not even so much that mine's got all these numbers. I mean, we topped out last year at 120,000 subscribers.
So just a lot of them are that bad?
Yeah, a lot of them have 500,
You went to the top,
subscribers.
You went to the top of your content's just that good.
Well, I play a lot of music on there, so it's called Music and Murder, and
I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of good as far as like the name. I thought the name was
Music
pretty
and Murder.
good. And like the cover is like a pink Barbie doll, like it's like a Barbie doll with like blood on her with a guitar, and it's kind of cool. But basically, the way that I got a lot of followers was subscribers. I wouldn't even call them followers because I'm there as subscribers.
Right.
But I would play people's music, people that were up and coming and stuff like that, and then they would of course share the show.
How smart.
So,
That's really
yeah.
cool.
And it's still it's the main way that I get advertising and stuff right now.
Do you interview like a lot of the crime people, or you just how does it work?
I'm trying to get to that to where, because if I'm going to interview anybody, I'm only going to interview people with PhDs or people that were like on crime scenes. Like one of my friends, Kerry, he was a Fresno police officer when the oh my God, what was that guy's name? I'm getting ready to do an episode on him. The guy, he lived in the Tower District.
Oh.
He had the dreadlocks. He killed all his kids.
Oh,
I mean, I could totally picture him. I'm just drawing a blank on his name right now.
And I know
But
he was a lawyer
first person
too.
on
Yeah,
the scene.
okay.
But I mean, anybody from Fresno that's like over the age of like 20 should remember this guy. And he's still alive. He's still in prison. But Marcus Wesson.
Yes.
Marcus Wesson. Yes. So.
Do you interview the murderers?
You know, I'm trying to get prison clearance to where I could actually start at least doing phone interviews with some of them. Yes. I'm trying to get there. So there's a lot of things.
There's a lot of red tape. I know it's hard. Yeah.
It's so difficult. Yes.
It really.
I have to initially get contact with them before I can contact them. So you can see the dilemma with that. It's a little bit of a catch-22.
So right now, what do you do on the show? You play music in between, and then you're like.
I basically do a case. So I'll do a case like most other podcasts.
Okay.
I'll just do it better because like I have actually a background. So mostly the people that are doing true crime podcasts are like people that are just reading the Wikipedia.
Yeah, they're interested.
They don't
Yeah,
have any degrees in it and stuff like that. I have 2 degrees in it, and so not only the 2 degrees, but I mean I've studied it for like all my life pretty much. I mean since Forensic Files came out, you know, like in the 80s, I was watching that stuff when I was a little tiny kid. It's just always been my second passion besides music and entertainment in general. And I like it because it's real. I like doing it because I think it teaches everybody a little bit of something. So I think if you don't really have anything to offer as far as an opinion, a psychological, you know, like going into depth with it psychologically and stuff like that, I don't really see why anybody else would do a podcast if they can't do that type of stuff. If you're not trained in that area, there's really not a lot that you could really do except for just read the story. And there's millions of people doing that. So you have to change it up a little bit. And instead of going to commercials, I just go to a song. So like most episodes are about an hour and a half long. Half an hour of that is usually an interview. My last interview was with Gnarly Charlie, the DJ over here.
Oh, how fun.
He's like the only one I've interviewed so far that's like a DJ. You know, most of them are musicians and stuff like that. But so it'll be an hour just me talking about the case, and I go in the real depth of it. I do cuss in it sometimes, like a WTF here and there. You know, it's just kind of like. Because when you're talking about some of this stuff, and I do get really graphic, I do not hold anything back or sugarcoat anything. And I do have access to like crime scene photos that the general public don't.
Perfect.
Because doing the school thing, I've learned how to get into the systems with that. So I actually have a lot to offer with the show that most people that have crime shows don't have to offer.
That's really cool. So where can we watch it? How often do you come up with new content?
Right now, I am going on to season 4, so I haven't put anything out for like 2 months because I moved from Pismo to Paso and all that stuff. But usually I put out one like every 2-3 weeks.
Oh, nice. That's good. And so who do you want to interview?
Oh my God, Ed Kemper. If I could interview any serial killer or any murderer at all, it'd be Ed Kemper. And he's still alive too. I don't know if you know who he is, but his first 2 victims were Fresno State students. His body count wasn't high. It was just the way that he did it, and killed his grandparents, his mother, and the reason that he did it, his IQ is 140 and 138, but who's counting? But I mean, like, he's got like this close to genius IQ. He just totally schools all the psychologists that talk to him. Like, it's like he's the one that's really in charge whenever he's getting interviewed. You know.
So that would be really fun to interview somebody like that.
Yeah, he's just very intelligent. It's just like I just have a lot of questions for him that haven't been asked, and I watch these shows. And
that's great. You want us to ask the questions that haven't been asked. That's perfect.
Like, have you ever watched like a documentary and just be like, why are you not asking this?
Oh yeah, you like throw it at your TV. You're like, come on, yeah.
So, but yeah, it would be him.
So it's called Music and Murder. And where can we watch it?
It's just a podcast. It's not even a.
I mean, where can we stream it on? Where all of the Apple
for TV. So I do the sound thing, but it's on everything.
Oh yeah,
if you type in music and symbol, I think by now the A&D will work too. But music and murder, it'll come up.
That is so cool. I love that.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's been interesting, and I want to dive into it deeper. But I just haven't put all of my energy into it yet.
Because you're still performing.
I'm doing a lot of music stuff right now, and I'm starting to get into producing.
Producing,
and not even like engineering, just producing, like going in with bands and doing the actually production of the CDs and songs.
Well, you have a lot of experience. You have a lot to offer with that. Yeah,
totally. And bands don't realize it, but they need producers because you have all these Indians with no chief, and you know, the bands.
They do. They need so much help. That's the problem. They have talent, and they don't know what to do. They have to be in charge of it. Not everyone knows everything. So
they're all different, and none of them are wrong, and none of them are right, because music is an art. So imagine 4 painters trying to paint the Mona Lisa. You know, it's like you have to have somebody come in there and just say, "Let's do it this way. This will work the best." You know?
Right.
And if not, you know, if it comes down to one of the situations where the members can't like actually agree on something, then we just do a vote. That's just, you know, it's democratic.
Who should we be watching out for musically that's up and coming that you're...
There's not a lot of people that I would say that are actually going to make it big because they don't have the money behind them. But there's so Rabbit Hole Studios, the guy's name is Kyle Baker. He owns a Rabbit Hole, and he's sent me a couple bands, and then I'm trying to remember their name. One of the bands actually plays with Jason Newsted from Metallica, the drummer and the guitarist, and they're really good. I cannot remember their name. If I remember it, I will say. But I know of a lot of. Kinsey Rose is doing some really good stuff.
She's been here many times.
Kinsey has a great voice. It's the hard thing for me to say, like, who to watch out for. Yeah.
That's a great example, because she's talented, and exactly.
But the hard thing for me is when you say, like, who to watch out for, it's like the talent might be there, but the funding might not be.
Yeah.
You know how much it costs these days to make it.
It's ridiculous.
You need about $2-3 million behind you to be realistic. And I lived in Nashville, so I've seen it. How
was Nashville? That's my favorite place, by the way. And that is like, I love that town so much.
It's a great place.
So what was it like performing at these? Where did you perform? I'm sure I went to a lot of the places you performed at.
I probably played at about maybe 20, 30 places over there. Margaritaville was my main go-to. Like, I was playing there like probably two times a week. And the Jimmy Buffett one wasn't real big. It probably held maybe 100 people, but it was always packed.
That's how a lot of the places are. It's like, I try to explain to people how awesome.
I want to get over there to play at the Garth Brooks one, because his is pretty state-of-the-art.
So were you living there, or you were saying like for 6 months?
No, I was living there.
For like, how long did you live there for?
It was just like about a year.
Why did you move back?
Because of the pandemic, and I just honestly I couldn't afford it. Like I couldn't.
Yeah, the pandemic.
If I was going to spend like every dime that I had, because we didn't know how long it was going to last.
That's true. That put us in a lot of like making this, and that's how you got your doctorate, or you started it, right?
Started going back to school. Yeah, I already had my bachelor's.
You're like, what am I going to do at this point? Like, all this guy.
Yeah, and I love to go to school. I mean, it's really weird, because I also love to party, but like I like to go to school, so I like to learn things, and keeps my brain going. And like I said, I love criminology. And once you get past your bachelor's and you get past your general ed, you get to work on just what you want to do. So that's great.
So we might lose you to Nashville again.
I am planning on moving back next year. Yes,
but
I will come back.
Oh, well, hey, that gives me a reason to go back there, because one of my best friends from college was living, and I would stay with her. And then she moved back over here.
Yeah.
So now I can have someone to go hang out with, because that was sad when she left.
It's really fun over there. The great thing about playing over there is you have a built-in audience.
Right.
And there's no politics. Like, okay, you play Fresno. If you don't bring in people, most bar owners, because they're a business. I'm not talking any shit on any bars or anything.
But they don't want you back if you don't bring them.
It doesn't matter if you're good or not. It matters how many people you bring.
You can be terrible, but if you bring the people, you're fine.
Exactly.
They want you.
Exactly. At the coast, it's basically everybody just books people where I live over in Paso in the 805 area.
Right.
It's basically friends of whoever is doing the booking is going to get all the shows.
Right.
So over in Nashville, all they care about is if you're good.
Yeah.
That's all they care about, because the bars are always full.
Right.
So if you sell alcohol and you have people engaged and people dancing and stuff, you're going to get those callbacks. And I did very well over there for a starving artist, because most of the people over there, it's either you're sleeping in your car and you're living hand to mouth, or you're a trust fund kid, and most of them aren't very good.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. You grew up spoiled and you have everything you want. You're not gonna have that mentality that you got to practice every day. Because when I wasn't playing, I was practicing.
Right.
I mean, it was a 24/7 gig. It was just like you're always playing, and every show over there is 4 hours. So that's the hard thing. It wears on you. It wears on you a little bit. Every bar over there does 10 to 2, and I'm talking 10 a.m., 2 to 6, 6 to 10, 10 to 2 a.m. Every single bar. So you see all the shifts, all the musicians change. So it's not for the weak, and it's not for the lighthearted. And if you can't carry your shit for a half mile, and you can't play for 4 hours and deal with assholes excuse me, I didn't mean to say.
No, that's fine, but that's crazy.
But deal with people that are very intoxicated, starting drama with you or whatever.
Did you get good tips out there? Because I remember we would tip tip the good, be passed around and everyone's drinking, having a good time, and it's
yeah, you have to be, basically you're just a circus clown up there for the most part, and you're just doing covers. I would always do my own stuff every 2 or 3 songs no matter what.
That makes sense. You sneak it in.
But a lot of artists over there that have songs on the radio won't even play their own stuff. They're just out there for the money. I was out there because I wanted to get my stuff out there and make some connections, and I did. I didn't make as many as I would like, but I made enough to where when I go back, I can book out, and I could do what I want to do over there.
Right.
But it's a whole different world over there for anybody that's never lived over there. But it's a cool place.
So right now, where are you playing? So you're playing in Paso a lot. Do you have
I'm just doing the coast because.
So do you have a normal night, like every Saturday here or something?
Outlaws Casino, I pretty much do 2 or 3 times a month.
Okay.
That's kind of regular. I'm getting ready to start playing at Pine Street Saloon regular again, but haven't for a long time. But I stay pretty booked.
Are you good at letting us know when you're going to?
I post flyers the day before.
So where can we follow you?
Anything you type in Michael D. Keeney, it's going to come
for everything
up.
For all across.
Keeney is Keeney. You have no idea how many people spell my name wrong.
I can only imagine.
I'm it's not that difficult, but apparently it sounds like Kenny. So
yeah, I think that's the confusion.
Kenny, it's Kenny.
Oh, I'm sure you go through that all the time.
Oh God, yes. Even now, it's just crazy. But I like playing over there. The weather's cool, and I do want to tour this summer, so I'm trying to set up some stuff for that and get that going. And it's so difficult because it's so hard to make it to where it's feasible financially.
Right.
It really is. It's fast. It's feast or famine these days in music. It's so hard.
That's very true.
The top 1% make everything.
Right. Where? Do you know the next time you're playing the Central Valley, or you don't have that booked yet?
I only play here once a year because it's
really. You're coming back and forth a little bit, though.
I should start playing over here more.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of people that like to see me over here, but
where do you play when you play here? Where's the last time?
I played Outlaws Bar, and Debbie Bryant that owns it. She did tickets, and we sold it out pretty fast, and it's just it's a lot of work on my part because everybody calls, a lot of people want in free. It's a real hard thing for me to deal with for just one show, and then plus I got to drive 6 hours. So it's not that I don't have love for Fresno. It's that I played probably 5,000 shows in Fresno. I grew up playing Fresno for the first 10 years I was doing music for the most part. Fresno and Sacramento a lot, and so every venue that's pretty much ever been here I've played at.
Right.
And now it's gotten to be hard for me to do that with juggling around so many other things, because people they just call you and they message you all the time, especially the day of. So imagine
yeah.
you got to be over here by 5 o'clock for sound check, and you got to have your sound.
You
stuff
can't have your
over
phone
there.
on you, like you
Oh
check
my
your
God,
message
it
every
goes off all day
That's
long,
nutty.
the
Yeah,
whole time.
you're doing your thing.
And then people get mad when you don't get a hold of them, and it's like,
You don't know until the show's over, and you're like, okay, that's what you see.
last time I actually announced on Facebook and Instagram that I wasn't going to answer the phone no matter what. So
yeah, that's hey, you gotta do that. Sometimes that's how you gotta do it.
and you know how it is. I mean, you're blowing up over here.
Yeah. That's how it goes. Well, we're going to start following you everywhere, everyone who's not following you. And I definitely want to catch the True Crime Podcast. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and anybody that follows me, I will follow you back on Instagram. Instagram's probably my main one. I like Instagram. I have the most followers out of anything probably on Instagram, and that's just Keeney_music. But if you type in my name, it comes up too. And again, it's just Michael D. Keeney. And yeah, I will definitely follow anybody back that follows me. Are we?
I think we're on everything. I think I have you across the board. Well, just those two. I just Facebook and Instagram. So yeah.
Yeah. It's been nice watching you grow too, because I remember the first time I probably saw you was about maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, 2020. I just looked at our message thread.
Yeah. So this has been in the making for like 4 years.
I know. I was so happy. You're like, you're finally coming here. I was like, I'm so glad we made this happen.
Yeah, I had to see my uncle, and I was like, hey, and then you said Tuesday, and I said, that totally works. So. And anybody that's watching, that's watched the live performance that I did, live performances are hard. Plus, they're really hard when allergies are really bad.
Oh, you did great.
You can just hear in my
you're
voice. It's just, oh God, these allergies. And then you take the medication, like I was telling you before we started. It's like it just dries you out so bad. Hopefully, you never get them when you're doing anything. So, what about you? Who would you like to have on the show? Are you reaching out? Because I haven't seen every episode or. Well, yeah,
I mean, hey, if you could always send me musicians my way. I love that. Send them my way, and then whoever. If people. And
you've already had Kenzie on.
I have had Kenzie on, so bring in other bands. We'd love that.
That would be really cool.
So
who's like your white whale? Like, who are you really like? Who would you like to have on the show? Are you dealing mostly still with just local people?
Usually local, but I mean, there's a lot of interesting people that I'd be to interview. Like Trump would
if you
be
get Johnny Depp or
Trump would be an interesting interview, especially right now.
Especially right now, he's the hottest topic.
So if he's watching, just call me.
What's your prediction?
I don't know. I'm just around for the show.
I really don't know what's going to happen with that, but if he gets past that and he's still the front runner for the Republican Party, I think that he's going to take it. I don't see him losing. You know, there's a lot of people that are even Democrats, diehard Democrats, that are just like, we're done with that. Right. We're not doing the Joe thing again. You know, so I'm very like nonpartisan. I was going to say bipartisan, but I just like logic. I like intelligence. So it's just like, for me, I would rather have Trump in there for this round. But I'm not like one, you know, and a lot of people think I'm a country singer that like, oh, you're probably just this diehard Trump guy. It's like, you know, if there's two people that I could choose from and it's Joe Biden and Trump, I'm going to choose Trump. That's all I can say on that. But I mean, it's been pretty interesting that the two most intelligent people and best people that we get out of the United States is these two. But, you know, it is what it is, right? And I'm not saying either one of them are dumb or anything. I mean, definitely. Trump is on top of his game as far as intellectually. His rallies are going really good and stuff. But still, I'm not just like drinking all the Kool-Aid. You know, it's
right.
Like I still think for myself.
As we all should. Thank you.
As everybody should.
Thank you so much for coming on my show, and thanks. I will see you in Nashville when you're out there. I'll come visit you.
I will definitely be over there by next July. So, but. Everybody follow this lady if you don't already follow her. She is great to watch. She is working her A off, and you guys should all be very supportive of her. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to be on here.
Thank you so much.
Because I know someday it's going to be huge. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me on.
Okay, so tell us what you're running for in this campaign.
Yeah, so I'm running for State Assembly in District 31, and that's basically southwest Fresno. It goes over to Parlier, Sanger, and Kingsburg, or very, very little into Kingsburg.
Well, that's a big responsibility.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so what made you want to run?
I would say living in this community, I've seen a lot of people struggle. I live down the street from here, close to Edison High School. And growing up, we had just enough to get us by. And in today's politics, it seems like that's not even enough. Both parents have to go out work and to provide for their family. And I know people miss how it used to be in the 90s and the early 2000s where you could buy a house for $100,000, pay $2 at the gas pump, and to go grocery shopping and not have to think, okay, we got to put this back because it's too expensive.
So how can you help make that happen?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot simpler than people think. It comes down to a bunch of policies where they're just not common sense. I mean, you look at them and you read them and you're like, wow, seems good on the surface, but then you take it out to its logical conclusion and you notice, wow, this really affected. And you see that with bill or propositions like Prop 47, 57, and 109 that were supposed to reduce crime and increase our schooling. But in reality, just increased crime, and it's rampant in California right now, and our schooling's some of the worst.
Yes, my purse just got stolen out of my car the other day. It was a very big
property
mess.
Crime has gone up because there's no
crazy.
repercussions because of propositions like this, and it's pushed by
a
lot of our elected officials who think that they know better, and they overregulate things, and overregulation usually equals out to a worse outcome.
And so how do you fit into this? So you're going to work with people into trying to say, hey, let's restructure, let's look at it this way, let's redistribute funds. Is that what you're
Yeah, well, I would
do?
say, knowledge is power. And when you start to tell people like, hey, this is what the truth is, this is what this bill is actually going to do, this is actually what it means. I think Senator Shannon Grove did it best when she was fighting for SB 14, which would make sex trafficking of a minor a serious felony. And it got shot down in the committee. And what did she do? She went out to the public. She went out to any news station that would listen, to any social media platforms that would listen. And she said, hey, this is the problem. This is what the Democrats are pushing. And this is a big problem. And this bill will help our community be safer. And as soon as she did that, it got passed in the committee, went to the state assembly floor and the Senate floor, passed unanimously. And our governor signed it into law. She's doing that again with SB 1414, and that's all it is. You got to show these people, because people aren't stupid. You break it down to them and connect the dots, they're going to realize, like, oh yeah, these are some really bad policies.
And then you're right. See, my problem, and this is like a lot of why I do this show, is people don't even know what they're voting for, and people don't feel like it's important to vote. And a lot of people feel local politics aren't important, and I'm like, that's the most important. Everyone cares about who's going to be president. Like, your local politics affect your daily life way more than you can imagine. So I think, that's really good that you want to educate voters on not only why they should be voting, but what they should be voting for.
Yeah, I would say it kind of stems back to my story. When I was growing up, I remember Barack Obama getting elected, and I just asked my mom, like, well, what are we, Democrats or Republican? And she told me, well, son, we're Democrats. And I said, well, why, Mom? She said, oh, well, we're Democrats simply because we're Mexican. So I kind of took that for a few years. And
really?
And then when I turned 18 back in 2020, I started to do a little bit, not even investigations, I just came across a random video on YouTube by Steven Crowder, which is a political commentator, and he would do these videos where it would have some type of political topic and change my mind. And I watched every single one of them. I was like, wow, I agree with this guy on every single thing. I was like, so we're conservative, we're Republican. So I started talking to my family, and my family, they were definitely held their guard up, like, well, what do you mean we're actually Republican conservatives? And I just broke it down to them. I said, well, what are our beliefs? It's faith, love people, and love our family. And those three core principles drive the conservative movement. And I told them, this is the way we are, and we've been lied to, and I like to bring up to them, the Democrat Party didn't leave you, or you didn't leave the Democrat Party left you.
That's funny. They just said that in the movie Reagan.
That's who the term coined from.
Exactly.
Was from Reagan, and that's the truth. I mean, so many people have these conservative values, but still vote for a Democrat who opposes all their values, and it gives us the mess that we're in California.
Wow, and you're doing really good right now at your social media and telling you do a lot of YouTube videos. What's your channel, by the way?
It's The Solo Show.
So I've been watching some of it, and it's really cool because you're really kind of educating people in your own way. So is that what you plan to do, like if elected? Like, what are some of the ways to really get your info out there?
Yeah, so it's being an active politician. A lot of politicians get elected, and they're like, okay, I'm just going to work a 9 to 5, do my 40 hours, clock in, clock out. I'll vote sometimes up in Sacramento, sometimes I won't. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Sacramento. My job is going to be 24/7. When I'm out in the community, I'm going to be talking with people, introducing myself. Whenever it's going to give me a platform where I could talk about politics in Sacramento and make it very digestible for day-to-day people who need to go to work, provide for their family, and they're too tired to go watch and read, an hour or two of, political stuff that's happening in their community because they have other priorities that are more important, like their kids, their wife, and providing for their family a roof under their head. So I got to make it very simple and digestible for people, and I got to gain trust. And to do that, you got to be transparent and honest.
What have you learned so far in this journey?
I've learned a lot more people are conservative than they think, and basically what it means to be conservative is it's not knowledge that you gain from one generation, 2, or even 25. It's getting all knowledge in human history and bring it together and using that to move forward to better our society.
And what do people ask you when you're kind of young? What do you tell them? What's their response to that?
Yeah, I'm young, but I have a lot of fire in me, and I'm willing to work hard. I don't have everything yet, so it's only going to push me to, get there and be successful and be a fighter for the people. And I really think my Christian faith has reinforced me to run. In the Bible it says to help out your community in any way you can. And I just think when I pray with God and I talk to him, and I just think push me to the right direction on what I could do to serve you. And he's done that here. A lot of the things that I've accomplished in my campaign, I wouldn't have done it without him. 2 particular stories that are really cool was back in December I had to pay the $1,200 filing fee. And I don't come from a super wealthy family. I'm not wealthy myself. I'm only 21. So what I did was I just got down on my knees and I prayed and I said, God, I want to serve you. I want to help out this community. You know what's the best interest in my heart. Help me out. Give me this money. But if you don't, I won't be mad. I'm going to follow your plan over mine. And I think that next week, a distant aunt that I haven't talked to since I was about 10, she donated me the full amount for me to file. And then a very similar case happened that January where same exact scenario, same exact prayer that I said to God. And I said, I needed to connect with these people. Can you help me out again? If you don't, I'm completely fine. I trust your plan over mine. And some random guy I've never talked to before donated me a large sum of money. And I was like, wow, this is insane.
Wow.
So yeah, the more I notice in life, the more I stay connected with God and stay on that divine path, the more miracles, more blessings come my way.
Why do you think the time was now to run instead of maybe when you were older? What kind of propelled you to do that?
Well, I seen the state of the city. I seen the state of our California, and I seen that there's a lot of problems that could be fixed with just a minor adjustments. You look at the cost of housing. The reason why housing so much is because it's so overregulated. It doesn't allow builders to build. I thought the most interesting statistic that I seen was the average permits to build a home is $3,000 in America, but in California it's $25,000. It's absolutely insane, and it's either greed from our government or they're just incompetent people who we keep electing. I just want to show people that it doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, what background you come from. You could run. Elected official is supposed to represent the public, and I think I do the best at representing my district because I know what struggles they inherit, and I know how to fix them because it's just simple common sense.
Who are some of your political influences over time? Locally or globally, whatever?
Yeah, I would say on historically, I think, looking at the founding fathers, you could always look at what their idea of what America was and what it means to be an American. I think it's really hard to leave out Ronald Reagan. And I think the most obvious one would probably be Donald Trump, him being so influential and never coming into a political, he had no political place, but then he came in 2016 and said, no, look, I could run and we're going to fix America. And then he was able to do that for the 3 years that he had in office until the 4th with COVID. And I think Ron DeSantis from Florida, I think he does an easy job of, hey, this is some common sense, that policies that we can initiate to, raise the the quality of life here. And you see that with people leaving California, moving to Florida, moving to Texas. They're moving to Republican states, and it's because Republicans know what the common sense policies are to push to make the quality of life better. And yeah.
That's awesome. And so as like if elected, what would be some of your first plans of action?
Yeah, so I think the first few things that we can do is reduce our spending, and that's by pulling as much useless regulations as we have. California has some of the most regulated state in the nation, or actually I think it's ranked 48 out of the 50 states in physical and regulatory policies. So we're basically not free at all. I mean,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely insane. And then you look at like our education, we put so many requirements or money into the education system, and it's going towards, people's salaries and the higher ups. It's not going to the actual classrooms. Your students are never going to see that money because it goes up to the higher ups. I think simple policies like that, I think letting our farmers farm, because especially here in the Central Valley, when our farmers thrive, we thrive. So allowing our farmers to farm, letting them, water their crops, allowing them to deregulate it, because it really boils down to a lot of regulations that are causing a lot of these problems.
And then do you notice being like your colleagues or students, because I know you're young, you're in school doing all that, where do they fall in voting? I mean, I'm sure you help them a lot realize a lot of things. Like I said, people are not voting, and that's a big problem, especially for local politics. So what are they saying and reacting to you? Yeah,
so I mean, when I first started posting my political, commentary content, a lot of people were opposing me. I had a lot of people sliding up on like my Instagram
Had the haters.
Yeah, and then they came at a very hateful side, and it's like breaking someone's religion, right? People have been, voting a certain way for so long, and you're trying to tell them like, oh no, this is not the right way. But by simply having conversations like me and you are right now, where we're very calm and we're just talking, it helps out a lot. I did change my mind. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but it's basically, you set out a table at whatever public event, and you do a subject. I did when the Roe v. Wade got overturned. I did I'm pro-life, change my mind, and I had numerous people that were protesting against it sit down with me, and we just talked, and it's up on my YouTube. I had a 55-minute conversation with a psychologist doctor, and then with a 24-year-old college student, and we just talked. And then I think those situations is what's going to help us a lot more in the future, because when two political sides are just at each other's necks, and you guys say like, oh, they're the devil, or they're hateful, they hate me, they want to see me dead, you're going to feel, that wedge in between us. But most Americans are on the same page for most topics, and it's just having honest conversations and productive dialogue that's going to really help us get somewhere in our country.
What's the reception you're getting from other local politicians? And is there anyone that we know that's kind of supporting you or help mentoring you locally here?
Elected officials, there's numerous ones that are helping me out, and they're kind of guiding me.
Can you mention any of their names or not really? You don't have to.
I vote for right now, just so I don't.
Okay, there's no problem.
I don't know if they publicly be like, oh yeah, I know.
Okay,
but there's a lot
problem.
of people behind the scenes that help me. There's some people who don't, because they just don't believe in the mission and the cause. They don't believe that a 21-year-old could be the incumbent since 2016. They don't believe that I don't have the money to really fight them head on. But I think the people of Fresno and the people of California want change, and when they see an off-ramp, which is me, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, let's take a chance on him, because clearly what we've been doing the last 3 election cycles hasn't done anything to benefit us.
And then you were mentioning earlier, well, like these people, they have all this stuff, they have their families and putting a roof over it and all that stuff. Do you think because you don't have all of the baggage that a lot of these people do have, that's going to motivate you more, that you have more time to really...
Yeah, it's definitely gave me a lot of time. I got to give it to my fiance. She's been taking on a lot of the baggage for me to go out and do stuff like this. And I think I have a very strong supportive system where they're like, okay, well, we're going to help you out do this by taking care of these things so I don't have to worry about as much. Because like I said, I've told people that I genuinely want to help out this community. I genuinely want to see people succeed. You don't have to be a Republican or a Democrat to go to the gas station and it be $6. You don't put in a card, and if you're Democrat, it's cheaper, or Republican, it's more. Everyone feels these problems.
We're all affected the same.
Exactly. And I think about, when I get older, and how am I going to buy a home? I mean, the average home in California just surpassed $900,000.
Right. And you see what we make hourly, average income.
It's actually insane. And it's like, you don't do it by, you see some Democrats saying, oh, well, let's do $50 minimum wage. No, you do that by pulling back the government spending, by pulling back regulations, and letting the economy in Fresno, in California, prosper by itself. And that's what we've been doing for 250 years, and that's what we need to continue doing. And the moment we stop that, we're going to see exactly what we see here in California.
So what are you studying right now in school?
Yeah, so I currently go to Grand Canyon University, which is a Christian school in Phoenix. I go online, and I'm studying the science of, or I'm getting my Bachelor of Science of Justice Studies. And I'm kind of just learning about the justice system because I do aspire to be a lawyer one day. Not really too sure how that's going to fit into my political life, but I mean, combining the two, I think this is something I love, and this is going to be where I could prosper and really make a living out of.
Well, that's another positive. You have online school, so you can do that from anywhere. So you can really do that if you get elected. You do that in Sacramento. You got it covered.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, okay, this is nice because then I could still go to school and I could still help out the community because I really do care about Fresno, and I think we've been neglected for too long, and I think it's time for us to start waking up and realizing we need to elect the right people so our daily lives are very smooth.
What church do you go to, by the way?
I converted from Protestantism to Catholicism. So I used to go to Adventure Church with Pastor Anthony, who was an amazing pastor. He made it very fun to go to church, very interesting. I loved going with him. And then now I go to St. Anthony of Padua on Bullard and Palm, I want to say.
There's not a lot of Republican Catholics, are there?
There's not a lot of Catholics. I've noticed there's been a huge swing of people going more down the Protestant route with Baptists.
Yep. So what made you decide to jump?
See, the thing was when I grew up, being Hispanic, we were already Catholic. So I went to Catholic school, and I just asked a bunch of questions why do we have to confess our sins to the priest, or why do we do X, Y, Z? And I got told the same thing. I was like, that's just the way it is. That's how it's been for so long. And
it's not an answer.
Yeah, that's not an answer. So then I left the Catholic Church briefly for probably around a year and a half, and I just started reading the Bible more. And then reading the Bible more and learning about church history, I kind of thought, okay, well, the Catholic Church is the closest thing, or is the one denomination that was created by Jesus Christ. So I was like, okay, well, this makes the most sense. Historically and biblically, it seems like the Catholic Church is the one true church to go to, and the whole Reformation in 1516 kind of seemed like it didn't make sense to break off from the church to start a new one, because then whenever we have a disagreement at church, you would have a bunch of break-offs. So we might as well go to the Catholic Church and try to reform it, but stay there together like God or Jesus intended.
You're one interesting person, Solomon.
Yeah, it's been a fruitful life in the 21 years. I've learned a lot.
So how do we help support you? If anybody wants to donate to your campaign, where do we follow you? Where do we go?
Yeah, so you could just go to solomonverduzco.com, and you could find a link to all my socials, find a way to contribute, or just share the message. Just share my profile, share it to whatever social media you have, because I know times are tough right now. The cost of living in California is one of the most expensive. So I don't expect everyone to contribute, but if we could just share it and get the message out, I think we have a great shot at winning.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me here.
Getting ready for soccer season. I love this. This is where you're from, though. You're known as being from the soccer capital.
Well, I have a little bit of background, been playing all my life and coaching all my life, and so now I kind of dedicated myself to personal training with kids, and so I work with all ages, all levels, boys and girls, and anywhere from beginner all the way up to kids that are trying to get into college or even get to the next level professionally. So
when you grew up, tell us a little bit about where you grew up and how you started playing soccer.
Born and raised in Spain, grew up in Madrid and Sevilla. I came here when I was about 11 or 12 years old, and like most kids, started playing AYSO. And
did you know English when you came here?
We both spoke.
Oh, that's
both.
good.
My father worked for the military, so we were on bases, so we were always speaking.
So that's why this is a great sport. You could practice wherever you were, huh?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, soccer is international, but definitely in Spain, it's a religion over there. But so my uncle actually was the first one to kind of get me signed up to play soccer. He was a big soccer player himself. He came here when he was 17 from Spain. A lot of my family migrated over in the 70s and 80s. They came over little by little, but. So he played here locally and got me signed up and started and never stopped. Still playing.
Well, it's cool that we have you here in the Central Valley because I know it's getting bigger here in the U.S., but we actually have a native that knows what he's doing, and you're teaching kids what to do. So how do you What are you doing? You have some private coaching that we can get on you if we have a kid that wants to play soccer?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
My moniker, my training is R&R Elite, which is my name, Ricardo Rasner. So R&R Elite Training. Can Google me or just hit me up. I'll leave a tag on the channel here at some point.
Okay.
Leave my email and my phone number. So this summer I'll be doing intensive academy training where we'll train 3 hours a day.
So there's a group of kids. You'll do one-on-one and you do groups.
I do one-on-one for sure because
Okay.
there's a lot of need for that, especially kids that are beginning. I like to spend one-on-one time.
Techniques, yeah.
Yeah, it's better that we spend one-on-one time
Initially.
early. And then eventually, depending on their ability, I group people together based on their ability. Not boys and girls, but because there's some girls that will group in with boys just because they're at that level. So I had a group that I was working with a girl that was getting ready to get into college, and she was an academy player. She actually played for LA Galaxy at one point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So she was getting ready to go to Mexico and try to play professionally over there. So she jumped in with the boys. So she was as skilled as the boys, even more skilled.
How does that work?
As far as the girls and
Yeah.
boys? Well, like in basketball, like in college basketball, for example, the girls, like the high level, they practice with boys. Like they bring in guys to train with in college basketball. Girls that end up playing with boys early on, they get the speed of play and it makes them better players in the end.
I love that. Okay.
As you know, women's soccer is exploding, everywhere. Even places that aren't traditionally women's, sports. Mexico is huge. All over Europe now is huge. Real Madrid, who's never had a women's team, just got one. Barcelona is already the world champions for women's soccer. So in England and all throughout Europe now, it's really taken off.
So where are you training at? You said you will have like an academy this first coming. Is there an actual spot that you guys have?
I'm based out of Visalia, so most of my training is there, but I do have clients in Fresno. I go down to Santa Barbara and I train players down there, and LA as well.
But is the place that you do the groups at, is that typically in Visalia?
Yes.
So you can hire him to come to Fresno and do one-on-one training, or we can go to Visalia for the groups.
Normally when I'm training is in Visalia, so I have a place, a private park that I train at, and so that's in Visalia. But anybody interested, my background playing wise is a goalkeeper. So specialty wise, I train all players, but I do have a group of kids. It's a goalkeeper academy, so that's kind of my specialty.
Oh, wow.
It always has been. I started training. I was trained by a guy named Joe Matchnick, who was the national team goalkeeper back in East. He was the goalkeeper coach. So he trained Brad Friedel, Casey Keller, Tony Miola, all the national team goalkeepers. So I trained with those guys, then became eventually a staff coach. So I've been training goalkeepers and soccer players since.
Were you ever trying to go pro?
I played third division in Spain. I never got to the upper echelon, but I played at a high level. I played here in the USISL for several clubs. I played in San Francisco with the Diablos. I played with Santa Cruz Surf. In '94 was really cool. We got to play Nigeria in a friendly. We played Russia in a friendly game. So that was really amazing. That was in '94. And then after I was done and finished college, I went to college at San Francisco State. I went to Spain to play. So I played there for 3 years, and great experience.
Right on. Okay, so tell us about these jerseys.
Well,
everything has a history, right?
This one hits home because it's Sevilla Football Club. This is a cool retro jersey. This is Sevilla FC, which is my hometown team. I'm always, got them in my heart. They've actually won the most European Cups, Europa Cup, but they're an amazing club for Spain. So that just hits close to home because it's from my hometown.
I love this. Okay, and then we got this one. This one, wow, there's like 1 million signatures. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we are
this is Barcelona, which I was a big fan. Who wasn't a big fan? This is where Messi grew up playing. He came over here like at 13 or 14 years old. This is Ronaldinho's signature. Messi's is on here. This is a jersey from when Messi first debuted, and it's all signed by every player from Barcelona. This was the year that Rijkaard, a Dutch coach, was coaching them, that I did a preseason in Barcelona, and they were there training to get ready for the season. So, a lot of Barcelona fans in around the world, but a lot here in California because they're such a dominant team. Xavi, Iniesta, all the players that were amazing in Barcelona. So.
And then we have some rivals. We have some rival ones.
These two jerseys. This one, of course.
I got this.
This one's important because this is my go-to team. Either you're Team Barca or you're Team Madrid when it comes to Spain, and I'm pretty much Team Madrid. This is signed by Zidane, Roberto Carlos, and also, oh man, I'm striking on his name. It's a famous Portuguese player. But this jersey was what's really cool. I got to meet Zidane, and I got to meet Ronaldo. This is all signed by Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo, not Cristiano Ronaldo, Brazilian.
Oh, wow.
Brazilian Ronaldo. There's two Ronaldos, but people who know about soccer know that he was called the Phenom. He was one of the best players in the world. So he won the World Cup in '94 when he was 17, and then he won the World Cup again in '98. France beat them in 2002. He won the World Cup with Brazil, but he's an amazing player. This is significant because this Saturday is the Champions League final. So it's Real Madrid versus Bayern, which is Borussia Dortmund. The only reason I had that jersey is I played for that club team locally, and I decided to cut it in half as a workout shirt.
But they were rivals.
Well, this is a German team.
But you said I thought this was the year that they.
Well, this year they're playing the championship.
Okay.
So what happens in Europe? Every European country has its teams.
Right.
So Spain has Barcelona, Real Madrid. England has Manchester City, Manchester United. They all play in the Champions League. So this year, the final, the two top teams in Europe, is going to be Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. This club is actually where the American guy was playing. Pulisic was playing there, and then now. Man, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Anyways, another American kid was playing there as well, but he left to England. But so it's going to be an interesting final because they're a big-time underdog, but you never know. Real Madrid has about 16 European championships, so they're the legendary club.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and soccer's really taking off. I was in LA this past week, and everybody was watching. It's has a lot of interest here in the U.S.
So this summer is an exciting summer because I think this is actually the second year we're going to get the Copa America, which is usually the South American Championship, which is played in South America, but this year they're having it in the U.S.
Wow.
So U.S. is going to be competing against teams like Brazil, Argentina, Peru. All the teams from South America will be here in the U.S. playing, so it's exciting. It's going to give our team a real test, our national team a test to be able to play against the top teams in South America. At the same time, in Europe, they're having the European Championships, which is, Portugal versus Italy versus Spain versus France. All the national teams. So this year, 2 championships. And then leads us up to next year, which is the World Cup coming up. So we're at 24, so I take it back. 26, I think is the World Cup. I should know that.
Oh, wow.
So it'll be here in the U.S. So it's going to be a big couple of summers leading up to the...
How do you feel when it's like so big over here? Because that's where you're from. It was a bigger deal where you're in. Now you see like U.S. is really like coming through. You see the kids excited about it. You're teaching them. How do you feel about all that?
Well, I mean, it was interesting to see. In '94, we had the World Cup back then. There was a little bit of a boost, and soccer kind of took a boost. We had the MLS started just after that, so that helped get the league started. But, when people like Beckham came over and played for Real Madrid, and other stars started coming over, like, Zlatan came over as well. If you know anything about him, he's a crazy, arrogant, amazing player who played for LA Galaxy. He's the one that took out, LeBron James sent him a jersey, and he signed it and sent it back, said, here you go.
Oh my gosh.
So instead of keeping it for himself, he goes, there you go. So he's
funny.
He's just an amazing, crazy guy. But so, all these European players that come over. Now, of course, we have Messi in Miami, and, Beckham owns the team in Miami. So, that scene is blowing up with having Messi in the U.S. And it's just a lot of synergy going on with soccer, so it's blowing up. And the Fuego here at Fresno, of course, that are revamped, and this is, I think, their second year of new ownership. So hopefully we'll get them over here. I've got in touch with them, so we'll get them over here to do some sort of interview with them. They have a new coach who's in it.
Do you know him?
I don't know him. I know of him. Of course, he played for the national team, so he's a great addition to the club. So I haven't had a chance to go watch a game, but I'm definitely support the Fuego. It's a great organization. Historically, they've been here for a long time. They've been very successful. A lot of my guys that play locally, some of them who played for the Fuego, out of Visalia and Tulare. So there's been a long line of players who've come and played for Fresno out of Visalia and Tulare area.
So do you keep in touch with other kids that you've coached, like the girl that you said went to the Galaxy and then went to Mexico? What's she doing now?
Yeah, she's actually getting ready to go back to Europe, and I'm training her, getting her ready. She's
so she comes in there in between. Is still getting training from you
in her off season. Yeah, she comes back and trains.
That's
with
really
me.
cool. Okay.
One of my players went to Germany and was playing over there, and I'll be working with him again and getting him ready. He's trying to go to Europe. The thing about being a pro is people don't realize that it's, aside from being a great technical player, you have to be a great athlete, fast, strong, and then there's a mental side. You have to deal with a lot of adversity, like people don't realize when Cristiano Ronaldo left his hometown, he left his little island to go play in Lisbon. He left his family behind. He was 15 years old. So there's famous stories about him not even having food. He would get free hamburgers from McDonald's. A lady would give him, because they were starving. They were starving kids. They're in academies, no money. And then when I think he was recruited by Manchester United, he went there and he was 17, 18, maybe 19 years old. And so again, he goes to England, which is another world completely. So it's just a lot of mental toughness you have to have, aside from being a great technical player and a physically strong player and all of the above. So, it's hard enough now to compete in college. These kids are coming in, and, I have one player who I trained for many, many years who played with me. He got a full scholarship to UC San Diego.
Oh, wow.
Which is great. But when he gets there, next thing you know, there's 6 players, international players coming over, who've all been in professional academies. Now he's competing against, not the best in the U.S., but he's competing against guys from England, guys from Spain, guys from Brazil, and it's tough. Just college soccer is just ratcheted up. Even high school soccer. In the old days, you'd go out there, be 20, 30 kids trying out for 18 spots. Now there's 60 kids trying out for a JV team, and all of them play club. They're all good. So it's just very competitive these days. That's why kids, they play on the club, and then they go get private trainers that train them. Instead of 2 days a week, they're getting training 4 days a week. So it's the only way you make it, because in Europe, they don't train 2 days a week. They train 5 days a week. So.
What have you heard about that? Like you said, it's a lot to leave home, and when you're like a teenager and you're going and doing this, and you don't know anybody. What do they tell you when they come back here and they're training with you? Are they like, wow?
Well, it's an issue. One of the kids that he went to Germany, he was thrown in a house with like 4 guys that were, one's from Cameroon, one's from Morocco. It's 4 guys, 3 of them are Muslim, and just different cultures and different kind of lifestyles. And he's this kid he's 17, 18 years old, coming from Visalia. Like, it's a culture shock. But mentally you have to be strong enough to say, okay, well, different vibe, different world, but I got to focus on the game. And, that's what I'm saying. It's not just the technical and physical ability to play professionally. You have to really be mentally tough to handle all the adversity. A coach doesn't play you, a style that maybe isn't your style, a position that you don't not normally play in. You have to deal with all of that until you get to where you need to get to.
Well, I'm glad they're all still with it, because they're coming back and training with you. So they still said, This is what I want. This is a dream. We're still going to go for it. That's really cool.
Yeah. So, that you've got to aim for the stars. But, sometimes these kids that realize that, being a professional is 1 in a million. It's really, really tough. But, the good thing is these kids have experiences. They go over, they learn. Later on, maybe they become coaches, or some of them realize that college is the path. And there's nothing wrong with college. I tell players all the time, look, academically, stay on point. Keep developing as a player. But now there's so much emphasis on the club soccer. And, of course, the club soccer could care less what your grades are. They just want great players. But, if you want to make it to college, you got to have a great GPA, especially if you want to go Division I, 3.5 and above.
It's hard.
Stanford, Jeremy Guns, a friend of mine who's the coach over there.
Oh, man.
If you don't have a 3.5 and above, and you're not an amazing best player in the area, they don't even look at you.
Oh, man.
The women's team at Stanford only recruits U.S. national team players. They don't look at anybody else.
Wow.
Because they have so many talented players that want to play at Stanford. They don't look at anybody else except for you're the national team pool, which is 30, 40 girls around the U.S., maybe 50. Of those 50, they pick and choose who they want.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so where do we get a hold of you if we want to? And you're good for questions. If someone wants to dabble, they're not sure, you're good to answer questions. Where can we get a hold of you at?
Yeah, I'll post my information. So my email, I'll post on there. It's rnrelitetraining@gmail.com.
Okay.
So RR for Ricardo Rasner, rnrelitetraining@gmail.com.
That's easy.
That's easy. And then I'll post my phone number and anything else I can post. Social media, they can get a hold of me as well. I'll post all that on.
No, that's great, and it's really cool. Are you good about showing any of the success stories, any of the behind-the-scenes training? I want to see those videos. Are you good at posting it?
I've got plenty of videos. When we're done here, we're going to put you out here and see how you can do with kicking a soccer ball in the ground.
This is where you guys got to watch our social media to see me. I have no experience, so don't expect anything.
I believe in you. I believe in you. Plus, I'm your coach, so we'll make it happen.
Well, so then it all falls on you. Okay, guys, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you for your time.
Ricardo.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so what did you bring us today?
So we're doing a little bit of a play on, I mean, we've seen this trend online about Brazilian lemonade where you take the whole limes, you blend them up with condensed milk. So I'm not Brazilian, but I'm Spanish, so I'm making my Spanish sunrise cocktail, vodka-based, a little condensed milk and fresh lemon, and so that's pretty much it.
Okay, so what do we have? What are we trying?
Let's do it quick. All right, ice, shaker. Nice, fresh, light cocktail for summer. Ladies love it. So this is vodka with infused a little bit of fresh lemon.
Ooh, okay.
Any vodka you want will be nice.
So that has lemon as well?
Has already a little lemon infused in it.
Lemon
so what I do is
vodka. Okay.
So I take the lemon peel. Always make sure you take the white part off the lemon and let it sit for a couple days. Gives a nice flavor.
A couple days.
Since there's two of us, we're gonna have
a couple days. Really, like I'm supposed to know I'm gonna want this in 2 days.
Well, okay, you don't
That's
have to. You just squeeze fresh lemon juice in your vodka. Since there's two of us, we'll do.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna drink this in 2 days. Let me just have it out.
You don't have to do 3 days if you're not a bartender. Just so since there's two of us, I'm doing 3 shots. That makes sense, correct?
Okay.
So this is the mixture of the condensed milk, and what I did is I blended up the actual lemon rind. Right.
Okay.
So that peel it, make sure the white part is out. That goes in with your vodka and your condensed milk, gives you the sweetness.
Nice.
And we're going to put a splash of Campari. So we'll put
what's that? What kind of flavor?
Campari is an Italian bitter, so it gives a little bit of a balance to it. So we'll put a half a shot of that just for a little bit of depth for the cocktail, and then we'll put a little splash on top to make it cute.
It smells amazing.
Yeah, so I think
I guess that's what happens when it marinates for 2 days, your lemon pill.
Yeah, sure, shake it up. Usually what I'll do is garnish this with a little rim, but I somehow
missed a little what?
So what I made earlier, which I think I forgot over the studio, is I take lemon zest. So just get your zester, zest your lemon, and what I did is I made a coconut sugar, blended up coconut dry and sugar, and that goes around the rim. But you can do salt, whatever you prefer. But for today, we'll just make it simple and keep it off all the way.
No rim job today, guys.
I'm not sure.
But these are nice. I like your serving glasses. That's really cool.
I'm glad you like them. So any decent bartender is always going to go for the double strain. So take a strainer, take another strainer, and then ladies first. See how I do.
Oh, this is nice. It's all pink.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea.
I love when it's pink.
It's a sunset.
Oh, look at how perfect that is. Well, like I said, it smells really delicious. It's like really good for summertime. I love it.
It is a fresh drink. Cheers.
Does a body good.
Not too strong on the vodka? Just right?
Just right. So you guys, you can make this at home. That was really awesome.
Well, if you need me, I'm available. Private bartending, I do catering.
Private bartending and catering. Okay, so we'll just give everybody your info. You just give your number at this point.
It's 360 Catering is my email. If you want to get in touch with me, I'll make sure I leave the information on the screen when it goes live. So I do brunches, private dinners, anything. I specialize in Spanish food, hence the apron. So do paella, do sangria.
Oh my God, I love paella.
We were supposed to do sangria, but we got our dates mixed up and we improvised.
We'll do sangria next time, right?
Yeah, we'll do a red wine.
There's so many different days to drink. I mean, we don't gotta
So let's go ahead and have another drink because it's smooth and sweet.
Smooth and sweet, just like you.
Sometimes.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh I must confess dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.